So who's going to do the prayer song?
Me, Guruji.
Yes, Harini. Yes,
Om Gajananam Bhuta Ganadi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Falasara Bhakshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Adityaya Somaya Mangalaya Budaya Cha Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha Rahave Ketave Namaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Harini. So today's topic is actually the basis of astrology itself. Okay. Suppose you do not believe in rebirth, then okay, there is you can also do astrology without belief in rebirth. You can still do it, right? Because you have the horoscope, you can read the horoscope. So so if you look at a horoscope of a person, and let's say you are also a disbeliever of karma. Karma means not like rebirth. Obviously, karma and rebirth, they go hand in glove. You're not a believer, but you believe that I can read from a horoscope, and you can do it also. If something is happening to that person, what logic will you use to explain why this is happening to them, to that person? Okay. Yes, Manoj, I can see that you have a call at 8:30. So I'll make I'll make Soumya the co-host.
Okay, Guruji, yes, I'm here.
Yes. Okay. I mean, this class is quite, I mean, it's silent, so it's not, you don't have to do the policing, right, in our beginners class. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So just look at it like this. You are reading a horoscope, but you don't believe in rebirth. Then how will you explain what is happening in the horoscope to the person? There's still some methods. Don't give up. Try answering this question without bringing in the concept of rebirth, karma, prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, all this. Simply, you know the chart, I can use it, right? I know if the lord of this house is in this house, or this plant occupies this house, then there is this prediction can be made. You can raise your hand. All of you put down your hands, because I think it was for the previous question. And then when you have something to say about this, raise your hand and open up the unmute and then speak. Make an honest attempt. It's not so difficult. You can still do it.
So you're saying that without karma, I mean, I explain to the person about their chart, right?
Okay.
So I would say this attempt. You are born at this time, and because of the time, this is the luck that you have. And we can't explain why they have that, why they are lucky in certain way or unlucky in certain way. But we can say that since you are born at this time, every time has a has a specific karma attached to it. You are born this way, and this is your karma.
No. In this, you are not supposed to use the word karma.
Okay. This is
I know it's very difficult to unlearn something. I know that, but you'll have to look at it from the point of view of a person who doesn't believe in rebirth. No, one
Yeah,
of
see,
the
you just
main
say
points. Yeah.
every time has a luck factor and unlucky factor. So you were born at this
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
So
That's
you are,
almost understood, right? Because what to do, it is your, I mean, it just happened. That's all.
yes.
It just happened. And that's all there is to it. I don't know. I have no other answer. You are allotted this time. You are allotted this luck. And who allotted it? Can you try to give some explanation for that? Somebody made this or it simply happened?
It simply happened.
Yeah. So you'll be forced to say it simply happened, right? How many are with me in this? If you say simply happened. Now the premise for this is we are saying there is no karma. There's no rebirth. And it almost looks like that. The reason for that is we don't remember our past life. So if you argue properly, even if I say I'm born again, when I'm born again, I don't remember anything on the past. So it actually looks like fresh only. Do it make sense? You don't remember. So therefore you're new. Whereas if you use the school example, you go from 6th grade to 7th grade, you still remember 6th grade. But in a case where you don't remember at all, what is the problem if you say it is, I'm born, fresh, new. I didn't exist before. And after my death, I will not exist anywhere. It's all over. Okay. Very difficult, right? Why can't we simply say it just happens? What is wrong with that logic? Simply happens. The roll of a dice. Some number comes. You want to investigate why that number came? No, it simply happened. It's difficult, right?
Yeah, because nothing in this world is accidental, sir.
Okay, that is because you're looking at the world and you see this mic is not accidental. This video cam is not accidental. This electricity is not accidental. Everything has a reason, a past, or something preceding this. Correct?
But sir, here that dice is linked to the dasha balance at birth.
No. Don't bring anything. Don't bring anything else. Just look at it from plain, simple ideas. Like I have the horoscope and you can still read it without believing even in God. How many say you cannot read horoscope without believing in God?
Just like maths, sir.
It's just like maths, right? If you have this and here, I mean, you can project from here, it will go like this. We can easily do that. At this rate, this fellow is drinking like this morning till night, you will soon have cirrhosis of liver, you predict, and it will happen like that. Sometimes it doesn't happen, that's a different point. But when it happens, you can always, look back and say, we already said this is going to happen. So the problem that Sridevi is facing is she's saying that everything in this world is coming with a cause and effect only. So the first cause when you were born must have had a pre-existing cause. It cannot have come just like that. Okay, it must be. But we can still pursue astrology without any of these theories. All you need is just know how to cast the horoscope. You have the date, time, and place of birth. Cast the horoscope, and every astrologer here can say a lot of things about that person, which will be so accurate. That's all. So why do I need to know anything else? And why should I even know about remedies? I don't have to know. I just predict, that's all. And most of the time, the prediction will happen. It will become true. Okay. So what am I driving at? So we can take this. Yeah.
Are you hinting at the law of cause and effect?
No. I'm saying we can pursue astrology without the beliefs in, without any belief in these things. Okay. Entire world take 100%. I'm sure 50% of the people, even though the statistics will say something else, 50% of the people won't follow their own religion, for sure. Christian won't follow, Muslim won't follow, Hindu won't follow, Buddhist won't follow. 50% surely they won't follow. They'll break all the rules. So out of this, how many will truly believe in rebirth and all this? It will be very low. But people who don't believe in rebirth and all this stuff, this karma stuff, still believe that there is something called astrology. Okay.
One observation.
Huh?
So just one observation, like even if, for example, if someone is suffering in his career, that really does not mean that, like, even it might be his previous janma's fruit also. Otherwise also, his planets will show some other factors lacking in him. Like planets attacks through wisdom. So everything can't be put into previous janma also. Any planet will have certain, if you are not, in this example itself, if you are not doing well, there will be some indication which qualities or maybe something which you lack even in this janma also. So not necessarily because of previous janma. In this janma also you might have some shortcomings, which is always indicated.
Exactly. What is that? What is that karma which is called that which you create in this birth, which you can even do today and get tomorrow the result?
Agami.
Agami. Okay. That's a, I think that's a Sanskrit word for it, right?
Agami.
Yeah. Yeah. So there will be an interaction between the prarabdha and the agami karma, right? So both will be working together. It is because something was brought forward and then you're doing something with it. Okay, that is for all the believers of this karma theory. But I'm just saying, from a standpoint of no faith in these things, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in karma, but can I still practice astrology? Can I still, can the client who is sitting in front of you, even though he does not believe in karma, does not believe in gods, can he get some inputs from you because you're an astrologer?
He can, but then might not be 100%.
You see that? Okay, there is still a possibility, right?
Yes, Guruji, there's a fellow, I think he's not in this group, but he doesn't believe in God. There is a person, he doesn't believe in God, but he does do astrology.
He is practicing astrology, or is he believes in astrology?
He does it for people when he sees horoscopes for people.
Oh, he sees horoscope. Okay. You see, so what logic will he use? Why is a person having a horoscope? Why is a particular person having a particular horoscope? So he'll be forced to say it was simply pushed upon him, like thrust upon him. If somebody has a horoscope with very low dana yogas and he cannot become wealthy, then why did it happen to me? Yeah, it just happened to you. That's all. You'll have to say
That's
that.
usually what atheists also say, right, Guruji? Like they just say that it's just coincidence. Like it just there
happens.
Is no reason.
Yeah, there's no reason. It just happens. But I think then when Sridevi said, in the world, we are not seeing anything that is simply happening like that. Always everything, there is a cause. If this vehicle stops, there is a cause. If there is a flat tire, there is a cause. So for everything, we are able to see a cause. That's the problem we are facing. And so to dismiss off that in life, there need not be a cause from the beginning. Why did I land here? Why did that person land there when they took birth? For that, if there is no cause, it is so difficult to accept it. Then people always ask, no, why me? What did I do? Then there are two things. One, it happened naturally, or simply God allotted this to you. God just gave you this role and not for anything else. Simply God gave you, do this in this life. This is your role. This is your script, and like in a movie. But in a movie, when an actor does the script, what has he first accepted? He's accepted to do the script, right? They'll tell him, this is the role you're going to play. Anybody in the movie industry? Or will they say, just come, we'll give you something, do something. There will be something, a script will be there. Okay. So it becomes very difficult to explain this without karma and God. Okay, it's so difficult. So when you use these words, it becomes extremely easy to justify everything. Then no longer it is. But with astrology, okay, can you use karma theory alone to explain things without astrology? No astrology
Yes,
at
sir.
all. You can, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, I
You will be
think so, yeah.
100% successful in that. Because using the logics, you can easily say, this is only because of this and this, and that's all. No need for planets, no need for karma. No need for horoscope. Just karma is alone enough. So first understand the basis of astrology, that karma alone is the truth. What is that? All of you have done something, forget all past life. Until now, you have done something. This alone will be the cause of what's going to happen tomorrow and day after. And the next day and the next day. Okay. Like, for example, when Prahlad said, why don't you become a stronger chess player than what you are? I say, I don't have the opportunity now because I've gone into another direction. Whereas if you see an youngster coming up, let's say a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, so motivated, you should say, yes, you will become the next world champion. That's because it's still, forming. It's in the process of the making. Whereas once you crossed a particular time, it becomes too late to reverse and then start all over again. So this is the working mechanism of karma. And what is all this? For those of you who know astrology, all this is in time. And in time, everything happens. And this time is, in our astrology, when we say time, it is actually the timeline, Vimshotri Dasha. So the Vimshotri Dasha is the one which decides all this, when what will happen. And by proving when what will happen, if you know the logics and if you see this, it's so predictable. Even without karma theory, you can say it is just a script, therefore it happened exactly. Like the director will tell you in the movie, at this point, at 1 hour 40th minute 20 seconds, second, that scene will come. He knows it. Okay. So how do we know what we have done in past life? On what basis is that? Without astrology and with astrology. Without astrology, what will you say if something happens to a person? Anybody wants to answer?
Like simply like based on the event, let's say if somebody lost a child, without astrology, it will be that in their past life, they did something wrong to children, or so it's simply on the event, just backtracking it. And if we do use astrology, it will be something like Ketu in the 5th. But
Okay.
without astrology, I think it will just be purely by that event, just backtracking that, or thinking the opposite, that he must have or she must have done this to someone in the past. So this has happened to this person.
And then we have the other possibility of saying it simply happened also, right? It simply
Correct.
happened.
Yeah.
So there are two options always. People say it's a coincidence. It just happened. So what? Nothing to it. But when these coincidences keep on repeating again and again and again, then it is surely not to be dismissed off as lightly. It's something else. We need to give importance to why is it so perfectly repeating. Then we can make a rule out of it. First time when we noticed, we saw mangoes on the mango tree in April, May, June. Okay, we saw that. And we don't see it in any other month. And then we see it one more time. And when you see it one more time, now you write a rule. In the month of these 3 months, you will see mangoes. That's how predictions are made. So predictions are basically, but will this tree bear mangoes? Maybe it's still not time. Even when the April month comes, it doesn't bear. Maybe it's too young. Or something else is wrong with it. So the first conclusion is when a child is born, it is just born because of its karma. In a particular environment, it's just born because of karma. And there's nothing to do with astrology. If you want to know about it, then you need astrology. Are you all fine with this idea?
Yes, sir. There is no other tool except, astrology.
I mean, only if you want. Okay, if you want to know.
Yes.
And there are, I think 80% of the world does not want to know.
Does not?
Yeah.
Doesn't?
No, sure. Yes. How many accept this if you say 80% of the world is not interested?
Yeah, that is
If
true.
they want to know, sir, this is the tool.
No, that's because in our class of 32, everybody wants to know. Okay. So that's a different thing. But if you take the whole world, there are lots of people who don't even know anything about all this. What dasha and antardasha? In India, most people don't know their ascendant. Nakshatra, what is that? So we are just assuming that everybody is using astrology. They are not. But there may be people who are spiritually inclined and they might be doing this in a different way. They'll be trying to, make it better for them. They have some problem going on in their life. They will get aligned with an ashram. They will go to a guru and be in the ashram, learn meditation and so on. So that's another way of looking at life. Okay. So in order to understand, if you understand why an event is happening in the current, life, then by looking at, trying to understand or trying to decipher, to even guess what the person must have done in the past. Connecting to that, I think Sridevi gave us a hint about something to do with children. So the fault was done only connected to what was experienced or might be experienced. And this shows up as doshas in the horoscope. It shows us as defect. So doshas are all that which the wrong that we have done in the past life. And by knowing the doshas in your horoscope, you can easily understand what you may have done in the past. We have many ways of expressing this point. How many of you believe there is something called a curse? Somebody can curse another person. And then that curse will work.
It will, sir. It will work.
Okay.
Curse will only work if the other person is really strong spiritually. If not, nothing will happen.
It used to work before Guruji, but nowadays it may not work.
Okay.
So this, even the jealousy or Naradrishti, they will say, sir, nowadays it will work, I think. Yeah.
I think
These
it'll
things
work as well.
What did he say, Nick?
No, I just said I think curses are things that can be done so that they can happen, can work.
Can work.
So curses, all the curses will work now also, but it all depends on the strength and weakness of the person who is receiving it. If the person is strong enough, the curse will not apply to him. If the person is weak, it may affect him.
Any painful
When you say weak, what weakness is that?
Spirituality. His spirituality, his strength on withholding the bad influences.
Okay, let's say if there's an atheist and we all join together and curse that man, what will happen to him?
He may be also be having strength also, sir. May not be the spiritual, the truest sense, but he'll be having a lot of positive vibes in him, which will prevent the curses.
Guruji, according to I forgot his name, but one Guruji said that only if see, curses and boons will only work if it is from a very spiritual or very tapasya person. I'm not sure if any such individual exists in these days. So if they say, like, if you, like a Maharishi says, curses somebody, that will definitely work. So everything else is not predestined. Only something that has been said by either a deity or a Maharishi, it will become a reality. So in that sense, maybe curses do exist, but I'm not sure if other people saying, cursing in this present time.
Sir,
Maybe the bigger question is, why should you curse? When you have to channelize so much of your goodwill to consume the karmas that you have on your plate.
Sir, it's not just about like how we used to see in Ramayana or Mahabharata, a rishi putting some water and throwing. It is not like that. Any painful mind, if there is a honesty part in it, if you like harass a woman to core without any fault of her, even if she feels that pain and if she tells that let him also feel that pain, that also is a curse. So that works actually.
Yeah,
Any curse with honesty, it works.
Okay, I'll give you a situation.
Sir, if
yeah,
if the person has a very strong purva punya, the curse doesn't work in this life. So.
What you're saying is, if the person has enough bank balance as per the karma points, then even if others hurl curses on him, it may not work.
Yes, sir. It's very example would be a late Chief Minister Karunanidhi. He was an atheist, lived up to about 90. Being a politician, obviously, he would have earned a lot number of enemy and the wrath of people. And in spite of all that, he achieved whatever he destined to achieve. So that makes me believe that he has a strong purva punya which led to live in this life. And maybe all these curses will, or whatever he has done, will only work in the next life, take effect.
Okay, I'll give you a situation. Person A, call him Mr. X, kills the daughter of a mother. Okay, think like that. And before that, he did something horrible and then killed her. Now the mother will curse the criminal, right?
Yes.
But suppose the mother doesn't curse. Okay, there are two possibilities. She curses, and then because of that, something happens to this man, but she doesn't curse. Like Jyotish Kasi said, why should I curse? Because she doesn't curse. In that case, what happens?
Still bad happens, sir.
Why?
Still he has to pay for his deeds, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
so from that, it means a curse is only incidental, just like that. It's not important. Something has been done which could have, where the person would have faced the wrath of that action anyway, whether the one curses him or not, he will still be in the same situation. The result.
Yes, sir, but the pain that the child felt and the pain, I mean, in the first case, when the mother when there is no mother at all, even then he did the same thing, sir. But the mother also feels the pain, and then he has two people mean,
Yeah, okay. You're saying the quantum increases because there's one more person suffering along with this.
yes,
So
sir,
what?
yes, sir.
No, my point was when we say curse from the past life, curses. Should we use this word, or shall we simply say the reaction, the cause and effect? He caused it, and the effect had to happen. It was bound to happen, and that is enough. So there is no need that there must be a curse preceding it. Even without the curse, the punishment for this man will eventually come someday or the other.
So
Maybe in this
curse
life or maybe in future.
Curse is more of selective in nature, sir.
No, that's what I'm saying, Ananda. I'm saying even without the curse, will it not work? Or there is a necessity that the mother should curse.
So say, for example, without curse, it might be left to God. But curse, like say, for example, mother might curse saying that even the same thing will happen with your son or daughter also. That is a curse. If she did not curse, then maybe like his karma might get paid off in some other format. So curse is selective. The person who is cursing, like he has an option to decide the event, how that curse is going to work. Just a random thought.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's what we are trying to discuss now.
In the Puranas or Mahabharata, there's a story where a child will get bitten by a snake. Okay. And there will be a hunter and there will be a mother. So the mother will cry for the child. Immediately the hunter would propose, shall I kill the snake? And the mother will say, don't kill the snake, leave the snake, let the snake go. My son has done some karma, and that is why he has been bitten by the snake. And so the mother will let go of the thing, because so this will be like a discussion where where they will try to figure out who's right, who's wrong. Is the snake right, or is the is the kid right? Is somebody else right? Is the hunter right? And then later on, the karma, the devata for karma, or some I don't know which devata. One devata will say that it's actually the individual himself. Because of the individual's own karma, he's been bitten by the snake, and it's not the snake's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It's the fault of the own person. So I mean, this discussion of ours was reminding me of that story.
Okay.
So in that sense, we discussed a person's chart where a child was 4 years old and got murdered, right?
Yes, the mother was involved. I mean, she had attended the meeting, I think.
Yeah, and the father was probably the murderer.
Yeah.
In that case, it was very, in the child's chart, it was clearly showing the afflictions. So clearly the child has done some kind of bad karma to have that affliction in the chart, and then it just played out.
Just 1 second. I'm sorry.
Guruji,
Yeah.
Guruji, I want to add
Wait a
one
minute.
thing.
I have to hear the last point out. Sai Prahlad's point. The last part, that one line I was not able to listen to.
Yeah, Guruji. So in the child's chart which got murdered, it was clearly the afflictions were there in the chart. So it was not like a random event. So he had the sins that was in the chart, and then he just got, the karmic fruit fell on his head. Although it's unfortunate from our perspective, because he's such a small child, he missed the future, all that. But the Atma, whatever past sins it has done, it is only reflected here. So like that, if we look from that perspective, we can even say even the worst murders that have happened, maybe the story can go on. The victims might have done something in the past. That's why they got that. They got the affliction in the chart.
So without astrology, it becomes very difficult to understand this. It's easy to understand with astrology because we have the chart with us, and then we know this is the plan, and this is what the Atma came into this. This is how the Atma came into this world at the chosen time, right? By now you all know this. I've said this enough number of times that it is not the planets that actually is causing the karma, karma is caused by the individual only, whatever you call the being, and we have different terms for it. Some people say soul, or the being, or the I, whatever that is called, the consciousness, which you know for sure what it is, because you know who you are. I am this, I am, something like that, that. This being is born again and again. So we are all very sure about that. So this being, in accordance to its karma, waits in such a way that it has to be born on a particular date at a particular time, when the planetary positions will reveal this karma. So it will go back, doing a reverse engineering type. The Atma knows when to get into the starting process of conception. And from the conception, it will take time, and it knows exactly where it has to be born. It will happen, right? So the most recent case was Manoj and some of the students. We all did a lot of juggling with a particular time of birth, and right now Manoj is not here. We gave a time based on whatever was best available for the cesarean, but the doctors refused, and the child was born in a not so good condition. So even when I started the work, I said, see, it's not in our hands. It will be finally, fate will decide what time the child has to be born. But this is a very strange situation where the man is extremely rich. But in spite of that, the doctor said no. Okay. And our worst fears were confirmed later, that the Lagna shifted in such a way that many things got into the wrong position. So I'll show you a slide that is the basis for our horoscope and karma all put together. This is, I like this line particularly because even before I read this line, I had, by sheer logic, I understood it cannot be the planets that is a cause of karma. It has to be only karma itself is a cause, for which Mahavishnu in BPHS says, I have become this planets. I have become this. And my positions, like all the planets, everything is he, right? Which is the super consciousness, the God energy. I have become this. So my positions, all these planetary positions will reveal the nature of karma for a person. So I found this very interesting. I hope that you will, I also recommend that you memorize this. Okay.
There is one Sanskrit line which says, Sukhasya Dukkhasya Nakopi Data. Nobody gives you Sukha or Dukkha. You are the reason for that.
Exactly. Beautiful point. Can you repeat that again?
Sukhasya Dukkhasya Nakopi Data.
Nakopi is what?
Nakopi means no one.
Okay, no one. Okay. No one else. No one else is the reason except you.
Nobody is the giver of Sukha and Dukkha.
Exactly.
There is a complete shloka for that. It's the last line of that shloka. I don't remember that exact last one. Okay.
So all the blame that we are doing, this person did this, that person did this, and that's why this happened. God is very bad. God is not at all what he is supposed to be. Why God has done this to me? Even sometimes why planets have done this to me? Why did Saturn do this to me? It happened only during this time. So all that is wrong, because we know it is not the planets. It's not even God. Okay. So Sri Yukteswar, the yogi, guru of Paramahamsa Yogananda, says a child is born on that day and at that hour when the celestial rays are in mathematical harmony. I would probably change the mathematical harmony to astrological harmony, okay, with his individual karma. So his horoscope is a challenging portrait, revealing his unalterable past. What is that? The past is unalterable. It's already over. Like in a game of chess, let's say Prahlad or Kishore, the chess masters here, they want to help me play this game. When I invite them at my 16th move, you will say, already you've done certain things. Now I cannot change that much, but let me try from here. So when you get a guru in this birth, you will be at a, in a situation where it is somewhat easier to solve a problem, because you can't do it by yourself. You need somebody's help. But from there, the teacher also will say, but only I know, I wish you didn't do these things. I push the pawn here, I push the something there, which cannot go backwards because the pawn cannot go backwards. So something like that. So his horoscope is a challenging portrait, revealing his unalterable past and its probable future results. But the natal chart can be rightly interpreted only by men of intuitive wisdom. These are few. He says that there is a difficulty because you need intuitive wisdom, because planetary combinations are so mind-boggling. This is taken from the autobiography of a yogi, a very famous bestseller by Sri Paramahamsa Yogananda. I mean, the book is a household name in the world of spirituality. Everybody knows it. Okay. So as a professional astrologer, you will have to memorize that. Okay. You will have to memorize that. And you have to fully conform to this view. Otherwise, if you keep only talking about the planets all the time, and the client will think, oh, it's only because of the planets and it's nothing to do with me. Okay. And so when you say this planet is debilitated, what does it mean? Can somebody help me with this? If I say Jupiter is debilitated for you, so the client will ask you, so what?
It means in his past life, maybe he did not listen to his father or did something bad to teachers and gurus. So he did not listen to the ninth house factor, which is being lawfulness.
Okay, the rules and regulations. Okay, of which Jupiter is the head. Okay, okay, good. Sometimes Jupiter is also considered as elder brother, and Mars is considered as younger brother. So Karakatva you can use to find out what was done in the past. Sometimes you can relate a house to it and find out, because you have house significators also. We'll be looking into all that.
Sir, it is same with younger sister and elder sister, sir.
Yeah, see, I know you're definitely going to come up with that, the brother and sister thing. Basically, the third house is overall brother and sister, sibling. Okay, I'll give an example. Suppose the third lord in a horoscope is Nicha, debilitated. Usually the third is more about the afterborns. The 11th is the before, the elder, the older. In this, without any confusion, you can say brother and sister are all at one shot. Even if you say 7th house, don't say husband or wife. It is spouse only. For a man, it is a wife, and for a lady, it is husband. That's all. It keeps changing. So don't worry about this. But sometimes the Maharishi does specifically mention the gender also. In some cases, in those instances, you should use that rule as it is without. Okay, you can say, I think it was written 5,000 years ago or even before that, when it is all about you need brothers to be with you to fight. So the Sahaya Sthana was more about the men than the women. Okay. That may be the reason. Now we have Anand Bhatt with us, or Harini with us. So it makes my job easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can read out what is there.
Adhishthanam tatha karta karanancha prathak vidham vividhascha prathak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Yeah. So the last word panchamam is there are totally 5 factors. Okay, that's he's just describing the 5. Sri Krishna is describing. I think it's the last chapter, right, of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter. So that means climax. So something very important is being discussed here. See, when you look at yourself, let's say when everything is quietened out in your house and you have some privacy, just close your eyes, sit down, not necessarily in Padmasana, even if you sit quietly, and just close your eyes and just think about, I can imagine I was born in a hospital or wherever, and I'm in a cradle. And from there I have become, I went through schools. Go slow motion. Think about all this. What are you? And your body also grew. It became from small to big. And, those who had excellent physical structure in the young days now aren't having this. So we know that the body is also changing. But there is this, the I and me. And when you say life and human beings and what we say about astrology, karma, everything, all the 5 factors are important. All the 5. But then Sri Krishna hints at 4 are very easy to understand because you are in it. You know for sure that there is something like this. You are what? My body. So this, what is he now trying to say? What is causing this karma? Whatever is the cause of this karma. Or if you want to say whatever is the cause is also the action. And out of this, everything is born as a consequence. So my body, which is the physical body that all of us have. So without the body, we are not very sure how will we function. You know, we don't even know whether we exist. That's why most people don't believe in rebirth, because after you don't remember anything before the body. Then I or me, that sense is there always. Not this is I, and you're looking at the entire universe. Sometimes you feel that you're as big as the universe, right? When you look at the entire universe in a video, though they say from far off the earth is so small, it doesn't matter to you. From here, you must be so big that you can understand the entire universe, the big universe. You're not seeing yourself very small. You're as big. Okay, when you're inside it, it's big. So my body, the I or the me, my 5 senses. How the 5 senses are connected to the mind. And now let's say you're all comfortable, but suddenly somebody from side pricks you with a pin, all your concentration is gone. No more class after that for you. You will look at that person and there'll be some series of events that happen. So the 5 senses is so powerful. The 5 senses also are so much involved with all the actions. Then that Ichcha Shakti, my free will, my efforts. So in the horoscope, which is the effort house?
10th house, sir.
10th house only?
3rd house, sir.
Which is the main effort house?
3rd house.
3rd house. The 3rd house is the main effort house. Okay. And we will come to that. It's not the only house for efforts. Ichcha Shakti. There are so many other. But without horoscope, you can say you are having this as part of you, your effort. Either you take effort or you don't take effort. Okay. And when you say 10th house, Saturn is the main graha for effort. Why? Anyone?
Karma Karaka.
Karma Karaka. The Kala Purusha's 10th house. So if Saturn is badly placed, it's afflicted or maybe debilitated and then occupies Lagna, the person will be lazy, not so much putting effort. Industrious. He's very industrious. He's very active. Saturn is the main reason for that. God, which we just for want of, we cannot explain this. That's an unknown factor. Even Sri Krishna himself admits. How many of you think that when Sri Krishna was very much in the physical body, how many would have actually known that he was the God incarnate?
Guruji, there was a Maya at play, so I don't think most people realized.
Yeah.
He created a veil of Maya. So if not, he cannot do his Leela. So
did Arjuna know that he was God?
No.
No, sir.
Nobody knows. But when did Arjuna know he is God?
When he saw the Vishwarupa.
Vishwarupa.
When he saw the Vishwarupa, he understood, oh my God, I thought you were just my friend. You are now something else. I never expected this. I'm shocked. Okay, so now look at these 5 things. If you see here God, it's somewhat unknown, but it is very much part of our karma on the background. So who is actually the author of these rules? That if somebody murders, he has to go to jail. If something happens like this, there will be a punishment. If this happens, that will happen. Who is the creator of all this? Who is this law? That is God. That is only God. We call it godliness. Many people who are atheists still believe in godliness. They wouldn't, like we have, you just name some few atheists, famous atheists. Anybody you know, tell one name. Very active atheist. Huh?
Dawkins.
Pardon me?
Richard Dawkins.
Is that a voice?
Richard Dawkins.
Richard Dawkins. Okay. Richard Dawkins is famous for being an atheist because he's not keeping quiet. He's not just saying, okay, it's my personal thing. I let me be an atheist. He's like a religious leader. He goes on, creating his own religion. There is no God. So, but very difficult to understand how all these complex things would have come without a designer, a planner, somebody who could do all this. Okay. But anyway, the fifth part, we know it. Almost all the souls know it. But there's no way to describe it. That becomes, I think, people in the Sanskrit culture can talk volumes about why God is incomprehensible. That's why when Krishna is there, then also they cannot understand. Okay, so you cannot understand. But the other things, I can see my body, I can see it in my mirror, and I can see I am the one who has done it. And there is a very clear sense that I am the one who has been the child, who has been in first standard. I am the one who has been in 10th standard. In 10th standard, I did this and so on. So you are very sure about the I and the me. Okay. And then you're also sure about the 5 senses. And the 5 senses are so much connected to certain things in your body. And so a person who's taken alcohol will behave in a very different way. Okay, so we know for sure the senses, the mind, body. Actually, the senses at the top has what we call the manas, the mind. And that's the reason why a sannyasi will always try to go to the forest, because he is a little worried about what happens if he stays at home. Things can still, influence his senses. That's why he leaves. Okay, so these 5 together are the 5 factors of action. You do your action with your body, you do it with your eye consciousness, you do it with the senses, then your effort is there, then along with God you do this. Okay. In the God area, what would be the action? Anybody wants to support that? The gods. I silenced Prakash Palanisamy. Yeah. Prayer part. Okay, that's the prayer part. So in the astrology angle, we always have the prayer part as a means of changing the past life. Okay, we have that. So now I'm going to see, sometimes when I show a chart, you can easily guess what might be the problem of the past. In the past life, what might have happened. So I have deliberately chosen a horoscope where you can't do that quite easily. You can't do it so easily. Okay. And don't worry about that, whether you're not able to do it. Whatever we said now, if anybody wants to say something.
Yeah, I have one comment.
Yes, please.
So on the 5 factors that you showed earlier,
okay,
the reason for difficulty in understanding the 5th factor is attributed to the misunderstanding of the other factors.
It is attributed to the misunderstanding of the other factor. Okay, what you're saying is, if I am with those 4 factors, I cannot see the 5th factor.
Right.
Are you trying to say that? Okay.
Yeah, I think the very definition of I and me, I think that is what our Vedanta elaborates, right? That's where is the misunderstanding. Because our normal understanding is that our body, mind, senses is what refers to the I. Just a comment, actually. No.
Yeah, it's okay. See, when we are talking about karma, we are mostly in the karmic plane and therefore in the first 4 only. But we're still in the 5th also. But for a person not yet there, these four senses, these four factors will continue to be the main thing for them. You understand? Until you become that. When you become that, if you get that ultimate knowledge, then this four no longer is of any consequence. Like, for example, when Ramana Maharshi, the doctor said, we can help you with some kind of treatment for cancer. He said, who's got cancer? They said, no, it's you. No, I don't, he said. So now that is an ultimate level, like it's at the highest level that they don't recognize these things. Okay.
Guruji, in the Upanishads, Yamadharmaraja says to Markandeya that there is no death.
Yeah. No, see, all this is relative, okay? But when you look at a human life, all these suffering, because there is suffering in this world, there is anxiety. And most of the time, even spirituality stems from suffering only as a cause of an investigation. Right? Because, for example, when Adi Shankara said, what is that? He used one beautiful line. Sarvam Dukkha Manusmritya. Somebody must have can recall it. Kama Boga Nivartayet. All that which is born of Kama and what is that? Kama Bogani. Boga means what? Enjoyment. Kama Bogani Vartayet. Because all that is only suffering. The one who sees the unborn will attain moksha. The rest will continue to go in the suffering. So suffering is the key, that the main reason even to get into astrology, even to get into spirituality. So I'm sure nobody, very rarely it happens. For Buddha it happened, even though he was a king. He, without actually going through a suffering, he went for an investigation. Okay, that's a very rare event. But most of the time, there is always the suffering first, and then, or at least the investigation of death. Even Buddha investigated death. So there will be death investigation. There will be, because once you investigate death, you will know, oh, what is the point? I'm going to end anyway. Then why should I even achieve anything? So these people will not ask any questions about when will I buy a car or when will I buy a book. A flat or a home. When will I get married? None of these questions will come. So they would never even use astrology. That's why some of the world's famous yogis have not mentioned astrology. So when Yukteswar was using astrology, Paramahansa Yogananda was shocked. I didn't expect you to believe in astrology, he said. You can read that book. Okay. See, I'll tell you practicality. See, this course is about practical things. I met many people in consultation where as soon as they sat down, some of them had said the exact statement what I'm going to say. I have given up everything to God. Okay, I just came for fun. They pay my, my fees are not ordinary. By now, all of you know that. And they'll say, I've given up everything to whom? To God.
Here.
Huh?
If they've given up everything, then why are they there in the consultation?
That's a different point. After that, they'll ask one by one the question. So what they're actually doing is, they are looking at the ideal. They want to be that, but they are not that. Do you get the point, Prahlad? They actually want to give up everything to God, but they haven't done it. But they act, proactive. They're saying, I'm already given up everything. The next question they'll ask is, I'm going to start a new venture, which is 100 crores. How's my dasha and antardasha? So we have this problem with spirituality, that even though one may not have understood everything properly, you could still use those terms. Adi Shankara very clearly warns that you could copy others by this, by reading these books, but he may not be really that. Okay. So now I'm going to show a chart which is intentionally picked up so that you will not find out what the person may have done in the past life. One minute. Are you seeing the screen? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is ascendant? Capricorn. Okay. And since our topic is like this, well, let's place Ketu here. And initially, I'll place the Rashi chart first and then shift it in the Bhava chart. Okay. So we have. So these videos will be only there on patreon.com. Okay. I will not be, even sharing it in YouTube. Or maybe I might, not sure. Okay. This is a Rashi position. And where is moon? Moon is here. So as soon as I do something, all of you can, contribute your points. You can start saying something. Okay, like this, something you can start saying, because that will become the building blocks for, we want to know what this person may have done in the past life. This is the Rashi chart. Okay.
Guruji, I believe in the Bhava chart, it's the Rahu Ketu might move in the 511 axis.
Why are you okay? You're predicting already. Okay, I'm not actually, I'm not sure where that is, but I'm just building this up. So Sun is here and Jupiter is here. And or I'll do one thing. See, whatever is at the bottom, like this is at this edge. Okay, so you can see like this. And what is further up ahead, I'll put it on the other side. Okay, so it will be easy for you people to understand. So this is where Venus is. Okay, and Jupiter is here. Is it still visible? I made it so small. Okay.
Yes, Guruji, it's visible.
So after Jupiter comes our Sun. Okay. And after Sun comes Mercury. Now, based upon your questions, I will give you extra inputs because that will make it easy. Wait a minute, I'm trying to get this guy here. So Mercury. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Mercury and Venus are, yeah. Okay. In that case, I'll put it like this. Okay. The point here is Mercury and Venus are in rapt conjunction. Okay. So just to help you, I'll write it separately. Venus, 21 degree, 25. Cannot the dot there, sorry. Can ignore the dot. It's not a decimal. Venus is at that and Mercury is at 21:46. Again, I'm doing the same thing. Okay. 21 degrees, 46, 21 degrees, 25.
What about Sun, sir?
Sun is at 15 degree.
Oh.
Okay, good. That's a good question. We'll use white ink. So no, it's too thick.
Sir, Jupiter, sir.
Yeah, Jupiter. You want that, right? Now let me make the thinner font. Mercury is Sun. We finished. Okay, Sun is 15 degrees, and Mercury is at 1 degree. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
1:15, 21, 21. I've done everything. A small twist to this is in the Bhava chart, Mars gets into the first house. That's only in the Bhava chart. There's only shift. As Prahlad expected, Rahu is not in the fifth.
Yes,
Okay.
Guruji, because when you said seventh lord and the fifth, I was expecting a fifth house affliction, and that is still fifth house affliction. Eighth lord looking at the fifth, 12th lord looking at the fifth, and all.
Okay, now spend 5 minutes on this and try to guess what is the weakest area in this person's life. Is it this or that? I will not even say what it is, but just generally try to say something about this.
Sir, where is Ketu, sir? Is there any clips? I don't think so, but just asking, sir.
I mean, if you want, you can always Google and find out, December or 1982, was there an eclipse?
Yeah, 1982 month, sir.
It is oh, I didn't provide the month. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. This is actually in, this is I'm not giving you the exact details because this is, only in this session, I'll be taking from my experience, okay, with my clients. So I hope you will not share all these details outside in any other article, blog, for publishing. Okay. So please beware when I say something like this, please don't put it up anywhere else.
So 9th lord and 10th lord are closely conjunct in 11th house.
So what does that mean?
That's
okay.
That's good.
Now what you will have to do is, now that you decided to become astrologist, after saying the astrological reason, you should immediately pair it up with a statement for the client.
So there is a dharma karma.
Even that the client won't understand. See, one thing, even if you are wrong, don't worry. We all play continuously games. We keep losing, and every time you get better with every time, every day every day passes by. So losing is not an important matter at all. It's only the perseverance that I want to play it again and again till I become better. So even if you make a mistake, nobody is going to bother. Just make a mistake.
Second lord exalted in 10th, sir.
No, again and again, do not tell you have to tell the astrological reason. That's how you should start. That will become the basis for anything that you say in astrology. It gives you a good, it creates a good habit. You get into that line of practicing astrology properly, because when you say an astrological reason, there is a basis for your statement. And that, even if the client doesn't understand, you always tell the reason, because it maybe you're recording it, and they can always fall back. They can go back to some books and search, is this correct? Is there a dharma karma with yoga in this chart, and so on. Okay.
So it says he will be a king or equal to a king according to Faladipika.
Okay. Yeah. So like this, you can say is extremely rich. Okay. You want to make that statement.
Hard work.
Sir, there are more plus points. Sir, there are also two strong yogas, sir, in his chart, sir.
Okay.
This Mars in the first, having Mars exalted, it's not exalted, okay. But Saturn in the 10th house, he has one.
Okay. Now in the Bhava chart, I haven't shifted the Mars. Okay. I'll shift Mars here.
It's
the
not
Bhava chart, it
exalted.
is here. But no, it's not exalted. It is only here. Okay. In reality, it is at 29 degrees, this one. And Ketu is on the 11th degree, very much in Ketu Nakshatra itself. Okay. It is in Ketu Nakshatra. Ketu in Ketu Nakshatra in the 12th. Okay.
Sir, another thing is, sir, he has exalted Saturn in 10th, which is Pancha Mahapurush Yoga.
Sasha Yoga, yes.
Sasha Yoga. Okay, good. So
this person is suffering from Preta dosha, Ketu in Magha Nakshatra, which is a Pitru, with Saturn aspecting Ketu.
Ketu in Mola.
Wait. Let us give some time to others. Who spoke before?
Anand.
Was it Nagaraj? Or?
I spoke, sir. Anand spoke.
Yeah. Please repeat it again.
Ketu in Mula Nakshatra, which is a Nakshatra.
Okay.
Aspected by Saturn.
Aspected by Saturn. Okay. So Saturn is looking at, okay. In that case, I'll also write Saturn's degree, 6 degrees. Okay. Moon is at 17 degrees. So from that, it is a Rohini Nakshatra person. Okay. and Rahu is at 11 degrees. Okay, that's already because Ketu is there. So you are saying there is a Ketu in the 12th with a Saturn afflicting the already the Ketu in the 12th. So
and Ketu is in Moola, which is a Pitru Nakshatra. It's also responsible for Pitru.
okay.
Pitru.
If
So
there
he
is a
has
if there is a dosha with the Pitrus, what will it lead to, and what may have be the reason why a person will get a Pitru dosha?
This has
Now this is something you'll have to guess. It is like guessing. Like I mean, we as Rotarians, we went into a jail to do a project. The government gave us permission. When we went there, if you see somebody inside, most probably they are criminals, right? They must have done something, right? Maybe occasionally somebody would have framed and set them up, and a poor guy is inside the jail for no fault of his. That's a different. Most of the time, this must be the thing, right? If somebody has got into a position, he must have done like this. So once it is you are pinpointing at an important point, you're quoting a book, I think, right? When you say Ketu in Mula Nakshatra, are you trying to? Yeah.
In 12th house, yes.
Yeah. So in the 12th house, aspected further by Saturn, it is a confirmation.
And sir, it is like Mars also denotes blood, which is like an ancestor. So it is another confirmation.
Okay.
And it is in 9th, natural zodiac 9th house, which also indicates dharma. It's
okay.
A natural.
So are you saying from Kalapurusha's point of view,
yes,
where
yes.
the ascendant is here and this is the original first house. So from a typical Karakatva language, we'll say Mars and Ketu afflicts the 9th because there is a pressure on the 9th house factors, which only adds up to the, again, the Pitrus, father, parents and everything, right?
Something religious activities pertaining to Pitrus have not been carried out.
Okay, maybe that, or maybe something to do with Pitrus itself. So he might have, now we are just for the sake of making a statement to make it simple for us, we are saying like curse. Okay. So in the beginning, we said even without a curse, it will happen. So, but curse is just incidental. So we'll just simply say the curse of the Pitrus for the time being. Okay. And the curse of the Pitrus are there. What does it normally affect?
It normally affects the generation, like going forward.
Going forward. So how does one go forward in life? What is the meaning of saying I'm going forward in life?
Sons, like sons and daughters.
Yeah. So what is the basis for that?
The 5th house is
no. Normally how do we produce children? After doing what?
After marriage.
After marriage. So now the question is about, I've done some injustice to parents. Can I become a parent?
So like sir, Nadi Sutra for sun in 11th house.
Okay.
Says that the person should have a male child in 24th year.
Okay.
In this particular generation, like for 1982, it might be possible, but many a times if he misses that, there is a high chance that he misses that chance. Like 24th year, he is either not married or he is not able to produce son. Then he might end up becoming like childless, or maybe like some deformity in his children's, for that matter.
Okay. Now we'll ask, thank you. We will ask others to say, maybe tell a totally new point, which is maybe not even connected to this topic, or we did conclude on a particular area and we said maybe it is Pitru, or something new or supporting this. Anybody wants to say something?
Sir, I have one point, sir. Two combinations are indicating a lot of wealth. 5th Lord in 11th and 7th Lord in 5th, sir, according to BPHS volume 2.
Okay.
Guruji,
yeah.
The 5th Lord as well as the 9th Lord are all combusted. So that's a bad thing. So
and they are in conjunction with 8th Lord, sir.
Yeah. And also the 12th Lord. Not direct conjunction. So all this is saying that the person has done a lot of bad karma they don't have the bhagya of the past and also the future, which means of children. So and 7th Lord and 5, we have also seen a combination where they may not have children. So I think this chart, there's a big severe affliction with the ability to produce a child.
Okay.
But in 5th house, the moon is exalted, right?
That is the only good thing.
And the moon is full strength with the Paurnima.
Yeah, that is the
Sir,
good thing. But
you mentioned like
it's been aspected by thing. Okay. The 8th
Okay,
Lord.
now I will slowly start helping you. Okay, so in the Ashtaka Varga, in the Ashtavarga chart, you know the most of you know the Ashtavarga chart by now. In this Ashtaka Varga, from in this house, it is only 20. Okay.
Just one thing, who is the yogi and avayogi for this? Which nakshatra falls at yogi point and which is at avayogi
No,
point?
we have not calculated that here. We will maybe talk about it in a when the time comes. So from this, this Ashtavarga has 20 points in the 5th house. Now this is how you start stacking up.
Yeah.
You got, because in the Ashtavarga, certain houses will always have low score, like 7th house, for example. Okay. And whereas 5th house getting 20 points is slightly rarer. Okay. Anything about Upapada Lagna or Arudha Lagna, something like that? Can you develop this mainstream astrology rules?
Guruji, if
Arudha Lagna falls in Karka.
Arudha Lagna, AL falls where?
Karka.
Is that correct?
I don't think it can fall on the 7th house.
It can't fall on the 7th house. So if it falls on the 7th house, you will have to move 10 houses again from there, right?
Guruji, if Arudha Lagna falls in the 10th house with Saturn, then it says that the person will adopt a child.
Wait.
But it is not the case, right? It is in Aries.
Now we had right Arudha Lagna here in Aries. Arudha Lagna. AL is here. How was this done? Take the ascendant, count how many houses he has moved away from that house. Saturn has moved 10 houses because you can count from ascendant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go clockwise. And then you will see Saturn is in the 10th. And count 10 again. You will reach Karkadaga, which is what the previous student said. So place it in Karkadaga. But the rule is, it cannot be on the 7th from the ascendant. In which case, you have to use the suggestion given by Maharishi to shift it one more time, 10 houses. So by shifting it, you reach Aries as the Arudha Lagna. Now immediately do after of the Pada Lagnas, Arudha Lagna is the most important one. Okay. Okay. Or we stay here itself and say something straight away. From Arudha Lagna. So what does that mean?
Marriage, late marriage. Maybe.
Late marriage. He's not married as on date. Now, I want to tell you a very important thing. You know, in the previous slide of Bhagavad Gita, the Ichcha Shakti factor was a separate factor. That means the Agami Karma, the free will portion, what we are now manufacturing right now is also working. But when a person is perfectly hale and healthy, is marriageable, and then marriage doesn't happen, and he's not a sannyas, that is when you suspect it's something to do with the past life. Okay. Now, is there any other reason to say delayed marriage? Anybody else? I mean, though Pavani did, who answered? Who said Arudha Lagna 7th of Saturn? Okay. Now, here, one important point is when you are reading a yoga, okay, a yoga alone, you know Saturn is beautiful. Why? It is Lagna Lord. It has given rise to a Panchamaha Purusha Yoga. But when will the Dasha of Saturn come for this man? Anybody wants to calculate mentally and say roughly at what age will Saturn Mahadasha come using a
From late
simple idea?
40s. Late
In
40s.
40s? In 40s. So I'll also say is not it in Shani Mahadasha. How did you say, sir? How did you do that? Saturn is in, is Saturn Mahadasha is yet to start or maybe 40th year. How did you do that?
So because he will start with Moon Mahadasha, then Mars, then Rahu, and then Jupiter.
Yeah, so you did this mentally. Like maybe the best way to do this is you can use Nakshatra Pada ideas, and of course, if I do the Navamsha only, you will know that. Easy way is to tip halfway through in any Nakshatra and simply start adding. And you get a rough picture of when Saturn Dasha. But since I know the answer, I'm telling you the Saturn Mahadasha is coming very late. It's still so many more years to go. But without, if you want to know the exact date, it is.
Sir, the eclipse is on end of December, sir.
What?
The eclipse is on end of December, sir. 29, 30 December is the eclipse, sir.
What date?
In the time and date website, sir, the eclipse time is around 29 and 30th of December, sir.
Yeah, 29th. Okay, but okay. Since you opened up this, I'll give you the date. It is 1st of December.
It's not it. Okay.
So it was not between the eclipses, right? Though there is an impending eclipse. Okay, but it's not. Okay. Can you check the first eclipse on that cycle, or next year if you go, you can see in January the other eclipse will be there. I think you can easily guess that because the sun is yet to catch up with this axis, right? The sun is behind Rahu and Ketu, that axis. So it will take some time to reach the eclipse point. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, for an eclipse to happen, the sun must also be on the Rahu Ketu axis. But the sun is missing it. It needs some more time to get there, right? And sun moves 1 degree per day. So it is at 15 degrees. You need minimum at least 15 days to catch up with the eclipse.
26 days.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you can do whatever way you want. Okay. So here, since, you know, in astrology, what you do is you work like a detective. You go chasing the clue. One clue is enough. After that, you have to develop that clue. Somebody said, Aru the Lagna, 7th house Saturn. To the world, it looks like he's not married. What is to the world? A marriage is usually announced and is done in front of the world. It's done in front of others. So Aru the Lagna has a lot to do with what we call the solemnized marriage. Sometimes you can have secret marriage. You can have a secret affair. There can be a live-in relationship. Nobody knows. Okay. So many things can happen. But with the Aru the Lagna factor, it is the visible marriage, the marriage that is shown to everybody. So Saturn is in the 7th. Whenever Saturn, the delaying planet, sits in the 7th house, the marriage is delayed. Anybody else wants to add one more point about why marriage is delayed?
Saturn's 10th aspect on 7th house, sir.
Saturn's 10th aspect on 7th house. Very good.
Mars 8th aspect too. Also.
Mars aspect. Okay, very good, very good. Now
Sir,
slowly you're
Malefic
building
in
up the story.
Malefic in Upapada Lagna, sir.
Malefic on Upapada Lagna. What is Upapada Lagna? How did he calculate that?
12th Lord, sir.
Yeah. Now to do the Upapada Lagna, what one has to do? Okay, I'll push back the Bhava chart position of Mars. I'll just keep it here so that you know it is in the first house. How to do the 12th house Upapada Lagna? What is Upapada Lagna? First of all, Upapada.
Sir, Upapada Lagna is calculated in Rashi chart, right, sir?
Yeah, it's always Rashi chart only. All of them. Bhava chart only one use. That's all. After that, don't bother about the Bhava chart. It's always Rashi chart. Okay, and still none of you have spoken about the same degree of Venus and Mercury. I'm just looking for a word. Okay, I'll wait for that. Now, Ketu, forget Ketu occupying. The 12th Lord is shifted 12 houses from 12th house. Okay, who is the 12th Lord? Jupiter. The Lord of, so how many houses it has shifted? That many you have to move again. If you move 12 more, where will you reach? Upapada Lagna.
Upapada Lagna is in Libra.
It is now here. I'm written here. Upapada Lagna. If Saturn occupies Upapada Lagna and the second from Upapada Lagna has a malefic, what is that?
Bad marriage. Quality
Bad.
of marriage will be bad.
What is special about Upapada?
Scandals, maybe.
No. We are talking about past life. We are talking about past life. I'll tell you how to look at a horoscope. Please do not project it as though, when the person is coming to you at 40, don't think it is about 40th year. It's not about 40th year. Imagine this child was born on 1st December 1982, just born child, put into a cradle, and you go next to the mother and say, this child has got Saturn Upapada Lagna, and the second Upapada has Sun, and so on and so forth. What does it mean? The child has done anything till now? Just born child. What does it do?
Nothing.
Nothing. Then how can you even tell something about the child? Can you make a comment on a student who just joined school, whether it is bright student or weak student or poor student? Can you make any statement? No. Can you even make a statement about your wife or husband on the first day? You don't even know him. I mean, except in love marriage, you know him already. But so how will you know anything about a person on the first day? It means past life. Upapada Lagna is more to do with the past life problems, more than anything else that has been done in the current life. Okay. Please give a lot of importance to Upapada Lagna when it comes to marriage and children as a package. Now try to read it again. Okay, now there is a confusion. Is not Saturn the Lagna Lord? Is not Saturn the giver of a Panchamaha Yoga? How will you use that knowledge here? Or will you use it or will you not use it? Anybody?
Guruji, Saturn might give good things when it comes to career, work, something like that.
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir. Career-wise, I think it's very strong, sir.
Or in terms of wealth.
How can we prove what we have just now said? Any proof? We made a statement. Is there a proof? Or is it just my opinion or your opinion?
You will ask the person, sir. That's it.
Huh?
The person will himself say, sir. He can confirm some things.
Okay. I mean, that's not that. What I wanted. The thing is, some statement is being made. How do you know that we should not use this yogas in situations like this? How do you know this? Okay, I'll clarify it for your side. Let's not spend more time on this. See, when you read Upapada Lagna chapter, he makes some statement, right? Even Maharishi Jaimini makes some statement. When he makes that statement, does he say that Saturn is if Saturn is a giver of a Shastra Yoga, this will not happen or that will happen? Does he say that?
No, never, sir.
So the same thing, if you read the Bhrigu Sutram, from the first page to the last page, not once he had used the functional nature of grahas. Is this fifth lord or something? But there is some reference to that in a different way, but he has not used that at all. For example, if he says Jupiter is good only. Natural karakatva of Jupiter is good. It's a benevolent planet, a planet of grace, so strongly connected to the gurus. And let's say you are a Makar Lagna person for whom Jupiter is a bad planet. Then what will happen? You will have to read it differently. No, the rules are to be taken as it is. Krura grahas, Asubha grahas, or Samya grahas. Shubha, Ashubha, natural, permanent nature of grahas. That has to be given always the preference. So don't mix up like what we call hodgepodge, like we put all the food together. Deal with them separately. So now I think in between somebody said Saturn is also looking at the 7th, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So again, the 12th house of bed and comforts is afflicted by Ketu and again by Saturn, 3rd house.
This is where you start adding. So what was his problem? What was he doing in his past life? Why did he have all this Saturn problem, Upapada afflicted, and so on and so forth? Somebody in the beginning itself said there is a problem because of 7th Lord in the 5th. How many know that 7th Lord in the 5th or 5th Lord in the 7th is bad for children? It's a dosha. Very strange rule in astrology. Strange but true. And if there is a parivartana, be sure that there is a very high possibility of childlessness.
Guruji,
Between
Sir,
5 and 7.
there is a parivartana between 12th and 11th, sir.
Yeah.
When we take Ketu
Guruji.
as 11th, 12th.
Guruji, Venus being the 6th house of enemies, and I mean, sorry, Venus being the 5th house, and then 6th house Mercury being the enemy. Maybe they beat children up because they are fighting here in the chart. 21 degrees, they're having a planetary war. So
okay, now comes a very important point. Yeah, you introduce another term called planetary war. All planetary war or even a tight conjunction has to be handled very differently from the other type of conjunctions. Okay. Mercury, as Prahlad pointed out, is 6th lord. Though Bhagyadipati. But I think in the beginning, somebody said it is a Dharma Karma Adipati Yoga, right?
The 9th lord and 10th lord conjunctions.
Yeah, so I keep forgetting the names of students. Please excuse me for that. So maybe, I mean, those, when I say I forget the name, the student can respond, this is my name. Okay. It is I who said this. Okay. Now, what if the Dharma Karma Adipati Yogam is involved in a planetary war, a Graha Yuddha like this, 21-21? No space. They're together.
They are not helping each other. They are fighting.
What really happens in an exact conjunction like this? Anybody wants to equate this to something else so that we will never forget the importance of a same degree?
Guruji, before that, on top of this conjunction, both of them are combusted. So
I mean, that's stage 2 of this. Once you understand that these two are in Graha Yuddha, on top of that, additional point is the Lord of the 8th is combusting these people. It's the Lord of the 8th. Do you know that the Lord of the 8th is the greatest spoiler of all yogas? Of the Bangas. Sorry, I used the wrong word. That is, yeah, correct. Yeah. So the Banga of a positive yoga, that is a spoiler of a positive yoga, is of any planet that could have done it. If it's the 8th Lord, it is very strong. Anybody wants to say why?
It's 12th from 9th, sir.
Exactly. 12th from 9th. So it is a abhagya, a bhagya -1. Okay. So the 8th Lord is the greatest afflictor of all yogas. If any yoga, if you want to know if a yoga is spoiled or not, you have to try to connect to the sun. But can anybody give some example of what is Graha Yuddha? Simple layman term. Anything, any idea, any beautiful idea. What really goes wrong if planets are in the same degree?
It's like,
sir, neither of them can give their effects because they're so almost identical, sir.
Guruji, one seat. Guruji, we are going in a bus or train. There's only one seat, and both of them have to share.
So, okay, that is, there's only one seat, but two people want to get into it. Okay, okay, nice example, very good example. Right, and obviously they'll be fighting forever throughout the trip, right? You have to really imagine these things.
Yeah, it is difficult for one of them to establish dominance.
Yeah, I mean, you started off very well. Can you give some more examples of what really happens in the same degree issue?
No, so no one would win over each other. The fight will continue to keep going on. The dominance, whether you or me, will continue to keep going on. So,
okay.
So both will fail to give the results.
Of energy.
Sir, like one more example is when two vehicles are driving on the road and both want to overtake each other, then nobody is allowing the other one to overtake.
Planets get affected. Whatever the karakatwas of Buddha and Shukra gets affected. So, like they say that the planet actually fills in the quality in that person. The Rashis actually gives the opportunity. So, actually, this person will be lacking quality related to Venus and Mercury. My another guess for this would be like he is not actually interested in marriage. Like voluntary, he himself is not interested. He is trying to avoid it. might be because of some medical problem. Might be sperm count or something which he is aware of.
Yeah, you got partly right. He is confused about the topic of marriage. He's not very sure. And in the meantime, he got aligned with bhakti also, spirituality. Okay. Where does that come from?
Because Ketu in 12th,
Ketu from the
sir.
12th, sir.
Ketu in the 12th is doing that. So he is going to some special places of, this, walking around, those kind of things. So almost, meeting with or reading about, learning about the great rishis like Ramana Maharshi and so on. But there is an attempt there also. But what might this person have done in his past life with all this that we are saying? Okay, we got the answers in
He didn't
bits
share
and
anything,
pieces.
sir.
Huh?
He didn't share anything with anyone.
Why?
Because 12th house is afflicted with Mars and Ketu, and no one is ready to share anything with him in the form of marriage.
Okay.
Maybe more to do with the 11th house, elder brother.
Okay. Okay, we'll complete that last statement. Upapada Lagna itself is a derivation of sharing. 12th house. For sharing, the other word is loss. When you share, what really happens to you?
You will lose something, sir.
You lose something. Correct? Many marriages have failed just because there was the financial problem. And when financial problems are there won't be sharing. This man is not taking care of me, so I walk out. Something like that. He's not giving me support. Financially, he's not doing what he should do me. He should help me. He's not doing it or not sharing. So the Upapada Lagna alone is something to do with the sharing part. Okay. So now, on an eclipse day, when the peak of the eclipse happened, which grahas are on the same degree?
Sun, moon, sir.
Not Rahu and Ketu, right? Or sun with Rahu and Ketu. Not
Sun,
that.
moon are in the same angle, sir.
Yeah, that is peak means. So what is the peak? Is actually Graha Yuddha is the peak of an eclipse. Can you really imagine in the sky? Now, in the South Indian chart, the greatest advantage is you can place the earth. You cannot place the earth in a North Indian chart. Where is the earth here?
Center.
Yeah. So, though I'm not good at these things, kindly pardon me. I'm trying. Okay. This is where the earth is. Okay. Can you see the earth? The blue planet, the planet of Saturn. Okay. From here, if you see, who will you see? Who's disappeared? Who is on the outer orbit? Can you guess in the in the orbits who will be away and then in between and then in between and then Earth? Can you try?
Saturn outer orbits.
No. Only with regard to Venus and Mercury, because now we know they are sticking to each other, and it's almost like an eclipse. They're together, like how moon and sun are in eclipse. That is why the Graha Yuddha is so important. It's not the word Graha Yuddha. It's almost about only rapt conjunction. Just think about this. I'm standing here. I'm sitting here. Or let's say I'm standing and you want to take a photo of me and my friend.
Can't see Venus, sir.
No, that's
Venus
what.
is closer, sir.
Just imagine on my birthday, when my birthday was happening, we were posing for photos. And then I'll put, somebody just behind me, exactly behind me.
Sir, in this case, you can only see Venus, sir.
You can see only Venus.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I want to tell you one thing. You made a small mistake there. You can't see both. Okay. Okay, you're good at this because you guessed it that the sun is there and then in between there's a Mercury and then there's a Venus. But because of the blocking out on either side, you won't see both anyway. See, because when you have to see something, why you don't see the new moon? It's because the sun and the moon are on that side. If full moon, the moon is on the opposite side. You get the point? So anyway, you won't see. But if you use planetary logic, everything in our life is only based on the reflections from the sun on the grahas. So the best way to look at this is if you're taking a photograph with the other person behind me, you will say, please come out. That's all. This is enough to understand Graha Yuddha. Please come out. Let's see both of you. And this guy is blocking the other person. Now, who is blocking like this? Who got blocked? These two people got blocked. One of them is fifth lord, the other one is yoga. So now the yoga karaka, the bhagyadipati, they all in a Graha Yuddha, along with the sun affliction. That too, sun for this chart is a Ashtamadipati, the eighth lord. Okay, eighth lord. So it's a spoiler. Already problematic Graha Yuddha, Venus and Mercury, which we wrongly thought it is a nice point. But if it was even not in Graha Yuddha, it's actually very good. But even then, sun combustion, definitely have to give points. How much gap is there between sun and Venus and Mercury?
6 degrees.
6 degrees is tight. Okay. Of course, if you use the real, if you're adamant to the rules, you have a, from Surya Siddhanta, we have a method to, 17 degrees, up to 17 degrees, Mars is combust. Like that, we have some rules. But if you use a generalized, like that, if you want to use a rule of thumb rule, we call, okay, 15 degree, half of 15, 7.5. Anything is within 7.5, we will take it as a strong combustion, a strong conjunction, everything. Okay. So here it is a Graha Yuddha, and then it is also this. Okay, the sun has spoiled it. Now we get the picture of what this person may have done. Okay.
Sir, but what is the meaning of this combustion or Graha Yuddha related? I mean, how can we connect to the past events or present events of this person, sir?
Correct.
At least present events, sir.
Yeah, it is basically, it all boils down to one from Upapada Lagna, Saturn and Sun on the Lagna, all those rules. If you say Upapada Lagna, though it has an exalted planet, Upapada Lagnadipati is in a Graha Yuddha. This is the problem. I was waiting for somebody to say that. The Lord, that's why I kept on talking about Venus. So it is a Upapada Lagnadipati in a Graha Yuddha. Even though you have an exalted planet there, which should have been actually good. But even then, it is not a nice Graha. It's a Krura Graha. So we can conclude that this is something to do with the parents' dosha. The main is parents, followed by, as a result of parents related, and in the beginning we got a lot more clues about it's not just parents, it could be adharma and so on. Adharma also there is a connection, because now we know it is the lord of the 9th and the 8th in a fight. Whenever 9th and 8th gets connected, there is a problem for the 9th house. So adharmi, some problems with the parents was all done by this person in the past life. Okay. Now in between, Sridevi said, by knowing what has happened today, without all these headaches, we can find out what the person may have done in the past. That's why in the beginning, I started without astrology, what you can say. But you cannot be very sure about what you say. Only with astrology you can say. Do you think this person will ever get married? Let's say late marriage, if Saturn is looking at the 7th house. Can you say, can you attempt? Can you say whether he will at all get married?
Sir,
Or
even the moon is getting aspects from Mercury and Sun, sir. Not only the Saturn is having aspect on the 7th. The 7th Lord is having aspects from, we don't know how much aspect the moon is having from Saturn. But even then, the 1/7 axis of moon and these planetary war, we don't know. I mean, how much of aspects the moon is getting from these conjunction or.
Okay, if you want that that's so important to you, I'll try to answer it, but I cannot show you the actual chart. 1 second, where are we?
Jupiter is aspecting both moon and the 7th house, right?
Jupiter is aspecting
Both moon as well as the 7th house also.
Yeah, but we don't know the ascendant degree, right? That is also important to know the aspects and everything.
You want the ascendant degree, that I can give you, not an issue.
And I don't think Jupiter might aspect because Jupiter is in 1 degree and Moon is in 17 degree, right?
Not very close aspect.
Yeah, very small.
Just hold on.
How about this person, sir?
But the question is,
Wait. I'll finish that part. You wanted Lagna degree, right? Lagna degree is at 10 degrees. Oh. Yeah, it is 10 degrees.
So Rahu and Ketu are very much in the center, sir, in the 11th and in the 12th. And,
okay, that's why you wanted that. You wanted to know how deep it is into the 12th. It is a perfect 12th. You're right. Yeah, I think I should have placed the Lagna degree anyway.
Guruji, won't Jupiter go to the 10th house?
Wait. Let everybody grasp this point. Everybody has understood this point, what she said just now?
Yes, sir.
If anybody has not understood this Bhava Madhya concept, please raise your hands and ask me this. Why did we say Ketu is fully taking care of hurting the 12th house? Everybody knows that, right? Nagaraj Iyer wants, or is it hand raised for a previous question?
I want it, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now there is a theory that is when you say the ascendant degree was 1040, you write 1040 over the entire zodiac signs, all the other remaining signs, and call that as the midpoint of that house. This is a simple way to do it. Though if you go for astronomy angle, it's slightly different from this logic. What we call in unequal system, it may not be the truth. But to make it simple and Bhava chart, equal system, all that, if you have a software, it will let you know, you can calculate that if you say 10 degrees, if you see anything on 10 degrees, it is closer to the Bhava Madhya. It is like, this is the Bhava, 15 degrees in either side. So the ascendant, whatever degree is there, that will be the midpoint of every house. So the midpoint of the 12th house, Bhava Madhya, is also 10 degree 40. Okay, even if you use the other system of calculation, you'll only see it deviating from that point only. It won't go too far away, except if you go towards the North Pole or the South Pole, which is, very rare. But if you use equal system, no issues with this. 1040, write 1040 everywhere in all the signs and say that is the Bhava Madhya, the middle. What is the middle thing is, if you place anything in the middle, it will become very powerful. That's why badminton players, if they're playing a singles, they always try to hold the center. From the center, they can go here, they can go there, they can cover the entire thing. If they are on one side, it's called cornered. And that's a method to win a point also. You corner a person and then hit the shot the other side. But whereas if he quickly move to the center, for him, it will be short distance from anywhere. So Bhava Madhya Grahas give maximum impact. What I think she wanted to say was Ketu, the separatist planet, the planet of sannyas, kept him a sannyas without marriage. Because Ketu is sitting in the 12th. And for proof of that, we know he's going to the big name temples, the pilgrimage.
Got it, sir.
Sir, the 11th house is also disturbed, sir. It's the house of desire, sir, because of the planetary war. Can we say it like that, sir?
Definitely, yes. Because there is a war there, but very close. Why don't you add one more dimension to it about the 11th house? Something else you want to add about the 11th house?
There is a parivartana between 11th and 12th, sir.
No, that is done. But anything else you want to say? Anybody else support our student?
So the aspect to the 5th house, right? From 11th to 5th.
No, just follow the clue from the 11th language. Something to do with the 11th or... I'll wait for 1 minute or two.
So for Makara Lagna, 11th house is the obstacle house, sir. Badaka.
Don't use the word Badaka because we have not been using it. Though many astrologers have been using it. Without the word itself, you can say for Charalagna, the 11th is always malefic. That's all. No need for another term like Badaka. Because if you say for a fixed sign, the 9th lord will be Badaka, but actually it will be Yoga Garaka according to Maharishi Parashara. So that is a conflict. That's why I don't use this Badaka concept, though it is used in Prashna Marga. So the rule of Prashna Marga was imported into regular astrology, which is actually not correct. Okay. Anybody else wants to say something about now that the fulfillment of desire, 11th house,
Lord is
he-
involved in the planetary war. That is, sir. The fifth Lord is involved in that planetary war.
See, it's actually not good to have the 8th Lord in the 11th.
Disappoints.
Basic, no, like we don't want an is 11th Lord going to bad houses or a bad Lord coming into 11th house. It's also bad. But here, the entire affliction happened in the 11th house. The fight, the combustion, everything happened in the desire house.
And it is in the second house of UL, sir.
Second house of UL. Okay. Second house of UL. Okay. But in the second house of UL, more than that, the Upapa, the Lagna Lord, got into a planetary war and almost disappeared out of sight. Okay. If Venus is in a problem, what mistake usually is like what curses? Okay, just tell about a graha and simply say what planet. You say a planet and then say this might be the curse of this. Okay. Something to do with that.
So for Venus in the past life,
Venus is Kalatra Karaka.
Venus is female Karaka. Okay,
Yes.
the women Karaka. Somebody in the beginning said if you insult a lady, you're in for trouble, because in Mahabharata, Draupadi, you know that story, right? And Ravana did the mistake with Sita. So that was the end of them. So the women the curse is too high or too big. So Venus denotes that in the planetary war. Okay. Good. We are making a lot of progress here.
Sir, again, 12th Lord in 11th, Parashara says needs to adopt a son. So
12th Lord in
11th.
11th. Did he say adopt a child? 12th Lord in the 11th?
Yes, sir. I think he says you need to buy a child or something like that.
No. Not for 12th Lord in 11th. He said, I think for 12th Lord in the 5th. Even there, he doesn't say adopt a child. He says go to gods, beget.
Yeah, sorry, he visits temples to beget a child. So something like that.
Yeah, that is also 511, 12, 512.
Okay. Since you opened up the topic, because Ketu is in the 12th, and because the Lord of the 12th is in the 11th, you'll have to first understand the result of the 12th Lord in the 11th. Anybody can guess simply without reading Parashari text? Simple logics.
Losses, sir.
Yeah, why loss plant sitting in Labasthana? Okay. Then you go to the text and find out, okay, what does he say? So all these are the bangas in his horoscope. So if you thought Shashi Yoga can do remarkable, but another way of looking at it is, anyway, so many things went wrong and a single Shashi Yoga cannot make that big a difference. And maybe you can encourage him by telling that please wait for Shani Mahadasha, and definitely you will have a better time in those days. So because Shani Mahadasha has not yet started, by now you can guess what Dasha is going through. Jupiter. Okay, from that he is running the 12th Lords. I just want to ask one question. I think we have done some research on no marriage. In the no marriage, investigation that we did, what was one rule that we concluded which could help as a big rule in astrology for finally climaxing and saying confirmation test? Okay, with all these afflictions, if I see this one more, I will say maybe he never gets married.
So 12th Lord is not in the Kendra, sir.
No, I think it's the 12th house.
Saturn in D9
12th Lord not in the Kendra.
Yeah, we got the answer. 12th Lord not in Kendra. When the 12th Lord not in Kendra is the main rule finally. The final straw in English, we have this phrase, the final straw is this one. Okay, so, okay, I wanted to, somebody asked me some question about aspect, right? And I didn't answer that question.
The moon, what are the aspects in the 7th Lord?
Yeah, just hold on. I'll open that and then tell you.
Because 7th Lord is exalted, we will expect so many good things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong.
Sir, one more point to add to the stack up method is the Kujadosha is that Mars moved to the first house in Bhava chart.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, please ask me.
Sir, Mars is in first house in Bhava chart, so it's a Kujadosha.
No, even in 12th house also it's Kujadosha.
Yeah.
12th house,
And
correct.
also aspecting 8th house.
Okay, then we'll do one thing. Anyway, it is Kujadosha. And then let's check. Okay, there is one thing in the Rashi chart, which is a parivartana between
12th and 11th, sir.
12th and 11th.
And that to double, sir. In a Rashi, that is double, sir. Ketu and Mars are both are the Lord and
You want to
Sovereign.
add you want to add one more dimension that Ketu owns Vrishtika. So surely it is a 2 times, right? That is a parivartana. So when a parivartana is between isolation, solitude, and gain, it's a contest between finding your partner in bed. Sayana Sugasthana. So there is a problem there also. And 12th house is the separatist, keeps you alone in the bed. That is, in solitude. And solitude thing is already working on him because he's liking all this, the Ramana Maharshi stuff, that type of, mindset. But is he completely free of these thoughts? Will he get even married, or does he like the concept of marriage? What could be the greatest indicator for your answer? Whatever be the answer. Why would you say you will still be interested? Whether the marriage is happening or not, another point. Huh?
7th Lord exalted.
7th Lord exalted. Beautiful point. And that too, a moon in the 5th house. Right? So if you see somebody, maybe beautiful, he might get interested. He is not completely free from that. Because the 7th house, Lord in the 5th is one of the main things for love and affairs. Okay, now your questions I'm going to answer one by one. Sorry. Okay.
Sir,
no, let me finish this. You wanted Mars. Okay, Mars is aspected with Jupiter 24%, Venus by 6. So he's a Manglik person. He's got Mangal dosha as well now. Okay. Anything else? 1 second. Just hold on. Sorry. So the Mangal dosha is not cancelled. Okay, because there's only 25% of Jupiter and Venus is just 6%, which you can easily do without the aspect table. But if you want to know the affliction on the 7th, it is the highest is Mars. This you have to do it only by the aspect table method. Otherwise, it's not so easy. You cannot find. But maybe if you simple ideas that it's 8th house drishti is falling, somebody said that. So 7th house receives 100% aspect, exact 100. Okay. Now that's a problem. And the next highest is Saturn, 86%. And so Rahu Ketu or Ketu's influence is 76. You have all the malefics on the 7th, covering the 7th. Okay. If that is not enough, the 12th house of sharing is already, these points were covered, 97% by Saturn and Rahu 96%. Enough evidence we got from this. So the 12th house of non-sharing. So non-sharing, not spending on, not willing to spend. Okay. Now comes some important stuff. We are going to come to the end of this. I'll stop sharing the screens. We are going for a simple discussion. Now, now you have reached a stage where we have made some conclusion and you want to talk to the client. What are the questions you will ask the client? You want to do some final, affirmations. can each one of you act as though you are the professional astrologer and you want to ask him a question and then say, okay, then we were on the right track. And then these are the remedies that you should do. This is how you change your past life. What you may have done.
He has passed through Rahu Dasha.
Yeah.
Rahu in Mithuna is like that too in Ardra Nakshatra. He had too much desires during the Rahu Dasha. And Moon also just one behind Rahu. There are high chances that during Rahu Dasha, he might have done something which has resulted him for the denial of marriage.
See, one thing is we are talking about when you read a horoscope, it is usually prarabdha karma, which is like when you was a baby, we could have made many statements. And then afterwards, he did something. For that, we do an extra prediction. Okay, what you do in this life. See, it's like somebody has Rahu and Ketu on 2-8 axis along with more malefics on 2-8 axis, and they get into a kidney problem. But the kidney problem has come to people who are not having any bad habit. They are not done anything now. Whereas if you use the simple logic that no, this person was drinking and smoking all the time and no need for astrology at all, it is because of this he got into this. So there are two ways of looking at it. One is what you did in the current life to simply justify it even without astrology. Whereas for those conditions where you don't even have any logic at all, you cannot even understand. Okay, why is it happening to this person? No connection, no relationship to anything that has been done. So that is when astrology comes and we explain with astrology. Okay. Now, what was I saying? What was the last point we said? Yeah. Okay. So a very important fact is that he has been in and out of relationship. Okay. But nothing very strong and very concrete. What happens with those type of activities? What is actually how karma, does it get better or does it get worse, and why?
He's disturbing so many lives, sir.
Exactly. Okay. So there is a hint. I might marry you. I'll give you a life. And then he moves away. Not firming up. Okay. That is the charity part. Okay, what are the remedies you will suggest to this person?
Sir, Ketu, like in some Shiva temple, if his 9th lord is in afflicted, so he might not believe the ritual path. Like if we suggest any dharmic remedy, he might not do it. But instead, some kind of karmic remedy, like go to some old orphanages and provide some food, such kind of remedies he might do. Dharmic remedies, he might not be interested. He might say yes and he might not do it at the end of the day. But
so one remedy we can suggest is to promote the marriage of some not so well-to-do people. Sponsor provide some financial help to some people who are willing to get married, but they don't have the financial means.
Preta dosha is the main culprit, sir, here of all the.
Okay.
He should also take care of his parents, and as well as because the 9th lord is afflicted, and also the 4th house is also afflicted. And then on top of, we have to, what is that?
Okay, we will give more importance to Pitru dosha. Okay, the Pitrus. Now, when you want to marry and raise your children, you are now trying to become the parent. Okay. When you obey your parents, get married in the way your parents want, and then you produce children, you fall on your parents' feet. What will then normally the parents say? Long live, may you all be, these things come, these kind of blessings come. That's the logic behind the worship of the Pitrus through Pitru Tarpanam also. Because it is about continuing the, what do you call that?
Generations, right?
The generation, there's a typical word in Sanskrit for that.
Lineage.
A lineage and kula, the Vamsha Vriddhi. Just this Vamsha Vriddhi concept is there for all the animals also. They also want to procreate. Okay, then how will it be for human beings? So it is more for human beings. So you want to promote that. So one method is that I think these people should do the big homam in Rameshwaram, that
Mahalaya, sir.
yeah, Mahalaya Paksha, then maybe that Til homam and all that. But you gave a hint that this person is not so much, is a little bit confused about all these rituals, but more about discussing karma and, those kind of things. So there's a tug of war between how to make this person do all these ritualistic, remedies also.
Does he have father, sir?
So then you can give practice. You
Huh?
can ask him to. You can ask.
His father is alive.
Yeah. His father is alive, but I mean, though you all thought that he's very rich, he's not well off. He's having his own problems.
Sir, probably on a Mula Nakshatra day. Mula Nakshatra.
Huh? But we are not able to hear you.
Sir, on a Mula Nakshatra day.
On a Mula Nakshatra, he has to do some remedy.
On a Mula Nakshatra day, he can fulfill some his own father.
Anand, but we are not able to hear you. Can you just type out what you want to say in the chat? I'll read it out for others.
You can hear me.
No, it's just breaking up. Is it only for me or is it for others also?
No, he's breaking up.
Yeah, we can't hear, sir.
Yeah, you can't hear. So do one thing. Just type it out, just that line. Somebody will read it out. Okay.
Anandji, maybe you can also leave the meeting and join back.
Now
Oh, even then it works.
Now is it okay? No.
Try to repeat that.
On a Mula Nakshatra day.
Okay.
On a Mula Nakshatra day, he can serve his father. He can.
Okay. Reverse the Pitru dosha on a Mula Nakshatra day by doing. Okay.
Why Mula Nakshatra day? Because Ketu is in Mula Nakshatra. That is why on that particular day, he can pray to his father. Like maybe give something to his father. Make sure that he gets his father's blessing.
Good.
That's why I said he should first take care of his parents, Guruji.
Yeah. It's a very important rule because you are wanting to become a parent. If you don't do justice to your parents, then it is not possible. Okay. So, yeah.
Then I would say you should worship, you should respect women because Venus
Okay.
is getting afflicted, combusted.
Okay. Venus is.
But he cannot go on disturbing the other lives also, sir. Like him.
But Guruji, if this person comes, for maybe if a girl comes with his matching, I would probably not approve because Mars is looking at the 7th house. So matching that up might be bad for the girl.
Okay. But then that's only Kujudosha, right? So why don't you find a match for him in such a way that the Kujudosha is also there in the girl's chart and look for a high nakshatra match and ensure that there is no Dasha Sandhi and a little bit of, his 7th is vacant and Lagna is also vacant. Try to find a person who's also having 1-7 axis free or 2-8 axis free of any planet, then that will be an ideal match.
Yes, Guruji, that's correct.
We can do some, because he is not completely given up. Okay, suppose he says, I'm given up on marriage. What would you say? Anyone? If he himself says, I'm not interested.
To all the girls.
Become a sannyasi.
No, even then we would say, ask them to do all these remedies that we just now mentioned.
Yeah,
and then say, if you're ready for it, and if you're very sure, but actually you won't be very sure because of the moon being the 7th lord exalted. The Kama Karaka sitting in the mind exalted. Okay, so it won't be so easy. He'll be tempted now and then. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me check one more time whether I have missed out anything. Meanwhile, you can ask others.
Sir, one remedy is there, sir. Like there are this nakshatra trees for every nakshatra.
Nakshatra
Tree. Vriksha.
Oh, vriksha. Nakshatra vriksha. Okay.
Vriksha. So on that nakshatra day only, or else it can be any sthira nakshatra like Bharani, then Purva Phalguni, Purva Shata, and Purva Bhadra.
Venus nakshatra, you are saying?
No, sir, on Sthira Nakshatra.
Sthira Nakshatra is not that. Sthira Nakshatra is
Uttarashada.
No. Rohini, Uttarashada, Uttara Phalguni, and Uttara Bhadra. Yeah.
On these days, either these days, or else on Mula Nakshatra.
Okay.
He can plant a tree which is allocated for that particular nakshatra.
Okay.
For,
Okay.
for Moola, it is like a sal tree. Sal tree is what they call as. Either
Okay.
they call it as dhupa tree. Dhupa.
Okay. Good. Good.
So that is a, and in Ashtaka Varga, they say in which direction it is, in that Trikona. So Moola falls in Kama Trikona. Kama is actually the south direction.
Okay.
South direction.
Okay.
So in south direction, you can plant a sal tree.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. This was taken from which book? Or internet?
No, sir, not on internet.
Okay.
Not on internet. The logic behind this is like to strengthen any planet, the manure has to be given to the nakshatra.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that logic.
Okay. I think if you Google, I mean, all the students who are interested, just type the nakshatras associated 27, sorry, the trees associated. You have it in, I've seen the list in Tamil. And you can also memorize your nakshatra, at least the tree. There are many temples here which has all the 27 trees within one temple area. Okay. So I visited one place like that. So.
Guruji, one more question. Since his Venus is weak, can we suggest him to wear the diamond ring or something like that? Whether that will help?
You can, but it won't make a dramatic change because it is too much in an eclipse and planetary war and an Astanga with so many problems. It will have marginal results only.
And combusted.
Yeah, see,
blue sapphire is probably better, sir.
See, I'll tell you, prayer, prayashchit is better for this guy more than the gem therapy. Because even if you say give an emerald, actually you should give him both emerald and
blue sapphire.
No, not blue sapphire. For Makar Lagna, you cannot give a blue sapphire because it rules a second house of stress, Maraka. So once it is Maraka, you have to be very careful unless the Maharishi has stated it as a beneficial planet. So if he has not stated as beneficial, and Magar Lagna, believe it or not, he has not stated it as a Shubha Graha. Even Saturn. Saturn is not. Therefore, you can only give recommendation for gems of Shubha Grahas. So you will only give Venus diamond on the middle finger and emerald on the little finger, the smallest finger. Okay. And but I think the most important thing is the Pitrus only here. From the Pitrus, then the child non-sharing for the to the spouse and the children in the past life. We got more clues actually. For example, what is it? Just for your, just to so that you will also know that his Guru Mahadasha is going on. So that is also a problem actually, just because of the Guru Dasha. Can you say why the Guru Dasha is not giving the marriage?
Sir, it is pushing him towards the
12th house, sir.
12th house matters, sir.
Yeah, it is going more about the 12th house problems, right? And then we already estimated that there is a problem with the 9th house factor. So Guru is also the 9th Karaka. And it is being the 12th Lord in the 11th house of desire house, fulfillment of desire, Jupiter, or you can say that Jupiter, the Lord of the 12th is not in Kendra, and that Dasha is going on. So he says, I don't even know how this happened at all in the first place. How was it delayed so much? Okay. Why did it get delayed? There's no proper reason for it.
Sir, the moon is Vargottama also, sir. I think so. 7th Lord is Vargottama, I think so.
Oh, you looked at the degree and you did that, right? Must
Yes,
be.
sir.
Yeah, maybe it is.
17 degrees, sir. So if we calculate from the Capricorn,
320, 320, 320, then 1320 up to 1640, right? No.
In which Rasi is it Vargottama?
No, it is 1640. No, it is not, I think. Because if you use 320, 320, 320, 1320, 1640. So it's still at 17 degrees. So it is just crossed over.
Just crossed. Okay.
Yeah, just crossed over.
Not 1640. You know.
Yeah. Up to 1640, it could have been Ucham in the same. Yeah, correct.
Yes, yes. Okay.
So the, sir, whichever house Jupiter is in, he spoils, like he does not give the results of that house particularly. Sthana anih karoti jiva, sthana vriddhi karoti shani. So like maybe Jupiter in 11th house.
Okay. See, what we have been doing in all our classes is we don't take the rules that are not mentioned by Maharishi Parashara. I mean, at least to some extent. And unless it has become so popular, we are not using it. Though there will be some special rules like this, the one that you quoted. Okay. One logic for Jupiter not helping the house in which it is usually a guidance thing. So it helps the others actually. You understand? A teacher helps the other and not himself. That may be the way you can look at a Jupiter. Okay. And when you want to protect something, you have to look with a security camera on that only. This itself won't protect, behind it won't protect. The one it looks, it protects. So the security aspect and the protection aspect of Jupiter comes with the houses where it aspects. But actually, the rule you quoted is not dependable, because in Bhrigu Sutram, we have totally different concepts. Like it's not accepted as a mainstream, rule in astrology.
Sir,
Anyway.
I have one more point, sir. This 5th Lord and 6th Lord conjunction, is it favorable for childbirth, sir? I mean, for having children, sir?
What did he
and
say?
This is, they are in fights, sir. One more thing.
No, that is
With
also the
some-
minus. It's a minus. Definitely. The fight between 5th and 9th Lord itself is a problem. Because the 9th is the 5th from the 5th. And afflicted. So if the 5th is afflicted, the 9th is also afflicted.
Yes.
You know this Bhavat Bhavam, the 5th from the 5th, both. But here, what has happened is after the planetary war, on top of that, more and more problems, like the entire conjunction is happening in a Mars sign. So that's how Maharishi Bhrigu always starts off, in the malefic sign. Natural malefic. And if you want to go one step further, you start adding up all these points to the 12th house factors, and you get a picture about non-sharing. Okay. How will you find whether this person has this mentality for sharing? Anybody? Any trick? What did he do in the past life with his spouse or with the ones whom he had physical union and enjoyed?
He ditched them, sir.
No. How will you find out now? What method can you use?
Sir, he is doing the same in this life also, sir. It is repeating.
Exactly. He's been doing the same thing. So the for a grahastha, the trade-off is I share it with my family, and then that I enjoy. And then I enjoy. If enjoyment comes without the sharing part, taking advantage, okay, then there will be some things that can come out of it. Now the problem is, as you start aging, the number of possible, people available for marriage will start coming down. Do you understand this? As you start aging, so there won't be other people to marry this person. The numbers keep dwindling. Also, that is also one reason. One methodology karma uses to make a person unmarried is it first delays the marriage, pushes it until it reached a point. After that, nobody will come forward. That's a working mechanism of no marriage. But there'll be others who say, I don't want marriage right from the beginning. Okay. So with all these afflictions, Jupiter, the Lord of the 12th Dasha, is running right now. And that has come at a time when normally people get married. He's of that age when Guru Mahadasha started. Okay. Just Pavani, you can go. I think you got to do something else. Yeah, those who have to go, you can go, because I know it's a working day for some people. I'm sorry
Sir,
about that. We will find
one
out
doubt, sir.
what better timings we can do. Okay.
Sir, I have one doubt regarding calculating the Upapada Lagna and the Aruda Lagna, sir. Should we count the number of signs the Lagna Lord has moved, or the Bhava Lord has moved, or the number of Bhavas it has moved, sir?
No. Simply count the Rashi itself. Actually, I was also confused only in the beginning. I used to experiment, but then I found the Rashi method is working very well.
Okay, sir.
Over repeated attempts, I found out and compared, and I came out of that doubt. Though I think nowadays software gives you both options. You can do it in the Bhava method and also in the Rashi method.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
The remedy part, sir, in Vedic remedy, there is one this for that, but like depending on the person, not
Okay.
for everyone maybe. They say this Saptashati Chandi Parayanam.
Oh, Durga Saptashati.
So there is this Pallavi style of doing it, where you fix one particular shloka for every 700 shlokas.
Oh.
So there is this Pallavi. So for each and every desire, say for example, his current desire is to get married. So the shloka goes Patnim Manoraman Dehi Manovrittanusarenim Tarinim Durga Samsara Sagarasya Kulodbhavam. So this is that particular shloka for getting married. So people
Can you reveal the meaning of that? Because maybe people can tell that in, sometimes I believe that it is a meaning that is more important. So even though there is an akshara, there is a sabda, we agree. I used to tell people, tell it in your own language, because it's still a prayer only.
Okay.
Right. So
the gist of it says that actually give a wife who is who helps me to cross the ocean of this life.
Samsara. Okay.
Samsara. Sagarasya Kulodbhavam.
Okay.
Sagarasya. Okay. So it's for like
and grow the lineage and
grow the lineage, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it is there, but again, depending on the person, this is not for everyone.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Correct. Not everybody is in tune with these things. Okay.
Or not everyone is actually they deserve to do this remedy, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes they may not.
They may not be.
Yeah. Good.
But this works actually because the Venus is afflicted, so this might actually give some strength to the Venus.
Okay. Now what I did during the consultation, each time I said you'll have to give money to the people who are about to be married, spend money. He was he was changing the topic immediately as soon as I said give money to them. You see this? This is an acid test.
Sir, maybe like Lal Kitab says Ketu is associated with dogs.
Okay.
I have heard it. I have not read Lal Kitab properly, but I have heard people saying
feed dogs.
And fish also. So like maybe feeding dogs and fish.
Yeah. So in Lal Kitab, I'm okay with the remedies where you're helping something, but there are so many rituals that doesn't make any karmic sense. So I usually tend to skip that, but we can borrow some knowledge from every book, a little bit of it. Okay, I tried several times to influence him by saying there are some methods to do this, but he was quickly going back to his own self-centeredness. I, me, what will happen? I'm in love with this girl. Will she love me? Will I be able to marry her? Like that. It's not about what should I do to get this thing, to get rid of. So this is the way you can find out about a client. They will easily skip it. I'll tell you before I conclude today for today's, because time is also, we've passed the time limit. I remember once I told for a person, because I knew he was running a time for loss of wealth, great loss of wealth. So I said, just scale up your philanthropic activities like charity, give more. He gave me a half-an-hour lecture on why we should not help anybody. You understand? So like this, you can find out a lot of things. But then not every client will open up also. They'll be very secretive sometimes. They'll even post, they'll post differently also. And they'll say, yeah, I'll do it. But sometimes they will give away the, their nature. So all the thing that we have to do is he continuing from the past life? Is he still the same thing? That's all we want to do. Okay, I think we will now stop. We had a very good session, students. It's a good way to start our, new, you can say our new venture or new activity. The goal is, I'm going to just tell you what I've been learning from the practical side of astrology. Okay. This is the purpose, and hope you all enjoyed this first session. Yes.
Guruji, did the girl that, who used to beat children, I think your neighbor.
Yeah. In the office.
Does she have a similar combination to this?
A little bit. Yeah.
Because I always felt this chart was like that girl's chart. That's what was in my head.
There is a common factor. Yeah. Anyway, that girl is, she's okay with that lifestyle also. She's not bothered. Even in this birth, she is not worried about, that she's childless, and now she's become a mistress of somebody. Even that she is not bothered. Okay. Fine. Everybody, good day. I mean, what's the best way to conclude a meeting? Is there any mantra we should say? Yeah. Okay. Can you say that, Anand?
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
Okay. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Okay. Fine. May the world be always happy, right? Is that, everybody be in peace?
Even Purnamadam Purnamidam is a closing.
Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purna. What is that? What's the next line? Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Okay. Yeah. Om Shanti.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you.
Guruji.
Thank you to all the students also.
Saket, you joined. I didn't notice you joined. How's your health?
Sir, it's my son's name, sir. Hari here.
Okay. Sorry.
Son.
Okay. Yeah. All the best. So we'll meet and keep looking for the messages on Patreon because we'll have some random meetings on different times to catch up with others who are not in the same time zone areas. We'll try to do our best. Okay. I hope all of you enjoyed this session and
very much, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So countdown from what number?
6, 5.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.